What if I told you that a single phone call could expose a family betrayal so deep, it would change everything you thought you knew about the people closest to you? Well, that's exactly what happened to me on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon, and by the end of this story, you'll understand why sometimes the most precious gifts aren't the ones we can see. Picture this: you're sitting at your desk, minding your own business, when your phone rings. Unknown number. You almost ignore it, but something tells you to pick up. That split-second decision? It's about to turn your entire world upside down. That's exactly what happened when I answered that call. A gruff voice on the other end says he's calling from a pawn shop, and he believes he has something that belongs to me. My father's Rolex Submariner. My blood runs cold. That's impossible, I tell him. I have my dad's watch right here in my... I open my desk drawer. Empty. Now, let me paint you a picture of what this watch meant to me. This wasn't just any timepiece. This was my father's daily companion for decades. He wore it through construction jobs, family dinners, even my school plays. When cancer made his wrist too thin, we had to adjust the band, but he never took it off. On his deathbed, he pressed it into my palm and said, "This is yours, only yours." That was 3 years ago. 3 years of checking on that watch every single day, running my fingers over the inscription on the back. To my daughter, "May time always be on your side. Love, Dad." So imagine my panic when the pawn shop owner tells me someone just tried to sell it. Someone who claimed it was theirs to sell. But here's where it gets interesting. The pawn shop owner, Frank, he actually knew my father. He remembered him as one of the good ones, always honest, always paid his debts. And Frank had a feeling something wasn't right about this sale. So he did some digging. What he found changed everything. 15 years ago, my dad had pawned this exact watch for $3,000. He paid it back within a month, with interest. Frank pulls out the records and shows me the date. It was right around when I started at that expensive private school. My throat tightens. I'd gotten in on academic scholarship, but there were still fees, uniforms, books. Dad had told me he picked up extra overtime work. He never mentioned pawning his most precious possession just to give me a better education. But that's not even the crazy part. Frank examines the watch more closely and discovers something incredible. Someone had modified it. There was a hidden compartment in the back, and inside, a tiny piece of paper with my father's handwriting. The message was simple but earth-shattering: "If you're reading this, something's happened to the watch. Check the safe deposit box at First National. Box 447. The key is in my toolbox. The watch is yours, but what's in that box is your future." Now, here's where the story takes a turn that'll make your jaw drop. Frank, this tough pawn shop owner, he hands me back the watch for free. Why? Because he knows stolen goods when he sees them, even when the thief has a key to the house. The thief? My stepbrother Tyler. See, 2 years after Dad died, Mom married Richard. Richard came with baggage in the form of his adult son Tyler, a guy with big dreams and an even bigger appetite for other people's money. This was Tyler's third business venture after a failed food truck and a cryptocurrency disaster. I march home with the watch, and let me tell you, the confrontation that followed was something else. I walk into the kitchen where Mom and Richard are hunched over bank statements, looking guilty as sin. I place the watch on the counter between us. Looking for this. The silence that follows. You could cut it with a knife. They try to justify it. We're family, they say. Family shares resources. But here's the thing about family: real family doesn't steal from each other. Real family doesn't pawn your most precious memories to fund someone else's pipe dreams. I give them an ultimatum: return the $8,500, or I press charges. They laugh, thinking I'm bluffing. They're wrong. But remember that key Dad mentioned? That's where this story gets really good. I find Dad's toolbox in the garage, covered in dust but exactly where I left it. Inside his favorite level, the one he taught me to use when I was 8, there's a small key wrapped in plastic. Dad always said, close enough isn't good enough when you're building something to last. He wasn't just talking about construction. The safe deposit box at First National contains 3 things that change my life forever. Bearer bonds worth over $100,000. A detailed journal of his contracting business with uncollected invoices totaling another $50,000. And a letter that brings me to tears. In that letter, Dad explains everything. He didn't just leave me a watch. He left me time. Time to choose my own path without worrying about money. Time to leave if I needed to. Time to be myself without apology. He knew my mother saw the world in terms of who deserved what based on who made the most noise. He knew I was quiet like him, and that didn't make me less deserving. It made me observant, smart, careful. The letter ends with a postscript that makes me laugh through my tears. If that boyfriend of yours is still around, the one who borrowed money and never paid it back, dump him. You deserve better. Even from beyond the grave, Dad was looking out for me. Here's what happened next, and this is where justice gets served. I hire a lawyer who specializes in estate recovery. Those bonds. They cash out at $127,000. The uncollected debts. We recover $43,000 within 6 weeks. Turns out, people hoped these debts died with Dad. They were wrong. Meanwhile, Tyler's app fails spectacularly within 3 months. He blew through the watch money on office space and logo design, never actually building the product. Richard calls asking for a loan. I hang up. Mom tries to paint me as the ungrateful daughter who abandoned family over material possessions. I send everyone the same response, a photo of the police report for the stolen watch with Tyler's name highlighted. The calls stop. I use Dad's money to buy a house in the neighborhood where he grew up. Nothing fancy, but with good bones, as he would have said. The watch sits on my nightstand every night, ticking steady as a heartbeat. Sometimes I open the secret compartment just to make sure it's real, that Dad really did think ahead, really did protect me even after he was gone. You see, Dad knew something that took me years to understand. He knew that eventually, someone would try to steal from me. So he made sure that even if they took the watch, they couldn't take what really mattered. The time to choose my own life. The time to stand up for myself. The time to realize I'd always been worthy of every second. Time is the only real currency we have, and Dad made sure I'd never be poor in that department. The watch is mine again, but more importantly, so is my time. And I'm not wasting another minute of it on people who think they deserve what's mine. Here's the lesson in all of this: sometimes the people closest to us are the ones who'll hurt us the most. But sometimes, the people who truly love us find ways to protect us even when they're gone. My father's love didn't end with his death. It evolved, became something deeper, more strategic. That watch wasn't just a timepiece. It was a time bomb, set to go off the moment someone tried to steal what was rightfully mine. And when it did, it revealed not just their true nature, but my own strength. So the next time someone tries to convince you that you don't deserve what's yours, remember this story. Remember that your worth isn't determined by how much noise you make or how many dreams you chase. Sometimes the quiet ones, the observers, the careful ones, we're the ones who understand the true value of time. And we're the ones who know how to use it wisely. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever felt like the quiet one in a family of dreamers, or if you've ever had to stand up for what's rightfully yours, hit that like button. And if you want to hear more stories about finding strength in unexpected places, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Because trust me, this is just the beginning. Life has a way of teaching us lessons we never saw coming, and I've got plenty more stories to share. Until next time, remember, your time is your most valuable asset. Don't let anyone steal it from you.